If you love great deals on amazing food, have I got a spot for you. You ever wish you could go back in time and take advantage of the bargains that Las Vegas used to offer? Well, welcome to Let's Eat Vegas, your guide to the good, the bad, and the delicious. I'm always chasing down hidden gems in Las Vegas, the kind of places most people drive past without ever noticing. And there can be no place where this is more true than today's spot. Right on South Rainbow, yes, but hidden back behind an Arco station, a Subway shop, and in this case, an inconvenience store. You really have to keep your eyes peeled to spot it. And once you do, you'd never guess what awaits you inside. Just west of the Strip sits the Tavern, a 24/7 bar and grill with a laid-back surfer vibe. Think surfboards on the ceiling and Baywatch reruns looping in the background. A privately owned small business, the staff is friendly, the atmosphere is easygoing, but the real standout here is the food. Everything is made with pride from scratch. The tavern doesn't just stay open all night, it delivers serious deals every single day. With a killer happy hour and dishes you won't find anywhere else, this place is quietly doing something special. We've got a lot of food to cover, so let's get started. Pick any 3 appetizers and let the feast begin. Today we chose buffalo chicken wontons, crab rangoon, and mozzarella sticks. Though here, in keeping with the Baywatch theme, they call the mozzarella sticks surfboards. And just look at them, golden, crispy, and beautiful. The panko crust keeps the cheese molten and the crunch loud. Don't miss the house-made red sauce, bright, rich, and loaded with flavor. The crab rangoon, excellent as well. You can actually see the crab meat. None of that mystery filling you often find lurking within. Creamy, savory, perfectly seasoned. Now dip them into the duck sauce. Ginger, apricot, chili, and Chinese vinegar. It's sweet, tangy, and has a sneaky little kick that lingers. But the buffalo chicken wontons? Well, they stole the show. I'd order them again in a heartbeat. The filling is minced buffalo chicken, not overly spicy, but full of flavor. Paired with their homemade ranch, light, tangy, and balanced, it's dangerously craveable. Honestly, you can't go wrong with any item on this plate. Corn dogs have been around since the 1940s, first popping up at state fairs, where inventive cooks dunked hot dogs in cornmeal batter and deep-fried them to golden perfection. Corn dogs and I go way back. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved them. Even as an adult, if I passed a little carnival or fair, I had to stop and get one, especially if they were homemade. Fast forward a few years, and I accidentally developed a following for my homemade corn dogs at our restaurant. I made them once for fun, and from then on, people wouldn't stop asking for them. These are a fantastic scratch-made version. The batter is light and fluffy, but crispy on the outside. The flavor is sensational. I can taste real cornmeal, and I believe it's folded into a pancake-style batter that perfectly coats the dog. Dip them in mustard, ketchup, or both. I'm definitely coming back for these delicious dogs. I have a feeling you will too. I'll never forget the night Tina Sinatra came into my restaurant. We were packed, and suddenly there was a scream from the dining room. I rushed out from the kitchen thinking something was wrong, but no, it was Tina going table to table raving, "These are the best meatballs I've ever had, and I should know, my last name's Sinatra." So when I saw the tavern offering spaghetti and meatballs for just $3.99 on Thursdays, and it was a Thursday, there was no way I was skipping it. I already knew the marinara would be good. I just had it on the mozzarella surfboards, and it was fantastic. And as you all know, I don't hand out compliments on red sauce lightly. I grew up in an Italian family full of great cooks, and I've been making sauce professionally for years. So when I say it's good, I mean it. Tina, if you ever get to Vegas, make sure to give these a try. You're gonna love them. Just try to make less of a commotion this time. Normally, this dish comes with 3 meatballs and garlic bread. But the Thursday $3.99 deal comes with 2 meatballs and no garlic bread. Being curious, I asked our server how he'd like the garlic bread, and maybe because they saw the camera, they brought some out for us to try. What a great place. The pasta was spot on, al dente, not mushy. The sauce, bright, tomato forward, and balanced. No overload of herbs, just the right hint of garlic and enough seasoning to keep things interesting without being overpowering. And the meatballs? First rate. They're clearly house-made, tender, juicy, and packed with flavor. Not dense, not dry, and no mystery meat here. Just real, honest cooking. And the garlic bread? Golden, crispy, and totally gardeliciousness. You could see how good it was going to be before you even took a bite, and it absolutely delivered. I'll be warding off vampires for days. At $3.99, it's not a deal, it's a steal. Calamari has been a staple in Mediterranean cuisine for centuries, especially in coastal Italian and Greek kitchens, where no part of the squid goes to waste. It started as a humble fisherman's snack and made its way into fine dining menus around the world. I'd already begun to pick up on a common denominator at the tavern. If it's fried, you can rest assured it's going to be delicious. So with that having been noted, of course, we had to try the calamari. And it's fantastic. Crispy, light, golden rings of perfectly cooked squid, not chewy, tender, briny, and fresh, with absolutely no fishy taste. The batter's perfectly seasoned, and you already know what I think of this sauce. I managed to put aside the wonderful homemade ranch we had earlier. It's way too good to let go to waste, and I had a feeling it might come in handy again before the day was out. And boy, was I glad I did. It was excellent with the calamari. Also, for an appetizer, they give you a pretty good portion size as well. I've always loved King's Hawaiian bread. I got hooked as a kid. I could eat a whole package by myself. How many of you are hooked on this stuff as well? Let me know in the comments below. And don't even think about asking for a knife or fork. This French toast is finger food, plain and simple. Grab it with your hands and dig in the way it was meant to be eaten. This might be the best French toast in the city, or at least it's right at the top of the heap. The bread is soaked just long enough for the egg mixture to fully saturate, giving it a rich, custardy interior. The outside is beautifully crisp and caramelized. You can taste that they don't compromise on ingredients. They use top quality products here, including the butter they use for frying. And it comes with even more of that fresh, creamy butter, and I highly recommend using it. On my first piece, I dipped it straight into the syrup. Delicious. But then I tried something different. I cut one open and slid the butter inside while the toast was still hot. The butter melted right into the center. And I'm telling you, it's a game changer. And I love that it's not just dusted with powdered sugar, but also finished with cinnamon sugar. I know it's a simple touch, but it makes a big difference. This is a dish not to be missed. And speaking of things not to be missed, you'll never miss a Let's Eat Vegas review if you subscribe to our channel. But if you can believe it, according to YouTube, 80% of you watching right now are not subscribed. Subscribing is free, helps us grow, and to bring you more reviews. And if you find value in our reviews, consider making a small donation using the link to buy me a coffee in the description area below. We'd greatly appreciate it. We'd also like to welcome new members to our channel, Candy M, EOD Chef, and Gail K. And thank you, Bill K, for buying us a coffee. We greatly appreciate you all for the support. I know I always harken back and reminisce about how I loved this or that as a kid, but not with bread pudding. I used to thoroughly hate it. As a kid, you couldn't pay me to touch the stuff. Probably because my only exposure was a cafeteria version in elementary school, which slanted more punishment than dessert. But in the past few years, I've given it another chance, and I'm really glad I have. Today's special at the tavern might just be my new favorite version of this classic dish. It's warm, rich, and loaded with cinnamon and caramel. Pure comfort. I used to say Carson Kitchen had the best bread pudding in town, but the tavern gives them a serious run for their money. It's decadent and creamy, with that perfect balance of sweetness and spice. Every bite feels like a warm hug. If you see it on the specials board, don't hesitate, get it. If you don't see it on the specials board, don't hesitate, get it. Even if you think you don't like bread pudding, this one might change your mind. What a great first day at the tavern. We'll be back tomorrow for round 2, and given what we've had so far, I can't wait. It's day 2, and we were lucky enough to meet Max, the owner. He noticed our camera and asked if we were filming and recommended some things. He's one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. He gets very excited about food. It completely animates him, and so he loves to chat about it. And he's especially proud of all they make from scratch. Rightfully so. Fried food and I, we go way back. Growing up, my mom didn't make a lot of deep fried foods, but when she did, it was a big deal. And onion rings were always my favorite. She'd slice the onions thick, soak them in buttermilk, dredge them in seasoned flour, and fry them in a heavy cast iron skillet. I used to hang around the stove waiting for the first crispy batch to hit the plate, burning my fingers because I couldn't wait. That memory, and the hot onions, have been burned into my taste buds ever since. These onion rings bring that all back. Just like Mom's, they're soaked in buttermilk, floured to order, fried up fresh. They're golden, uber crisp, and perfectly seasoned. And the best part? The onions stay inside the ring when you bite them. And that's huge. My biggest pet peeve is biting into an onion ring and having the whole onion slide out like a wet shoelace. Game over at that point. It's just fried batter. But who am I kidding? I'll gladly eat the fried breading as well. Add on their creamy house-made ranch, or maybe even a little of my homemade ketchup I always bring with me. And this is onion ring heaven. If you've been watching this channel, you already know I was famous for my chicken marsala back in the day, which means I'm brutally honest and a little unforgiving when I see it on the menu. So when Max told me his favorite dish here was the chicken marsala, I raised an eyebrow. I warned him, I'm Italian, I don't play around with this dish. And reluctantly, I ordered it, and to my surprise, it's fantastic. The sauce is rich, deeply savory, and genuinely authentic. This isn't some watered-down, cream-heavy version. It's a true marsala reduction with the right balance of wine, mushrooms, and pan juices. In my opinion, there's only one right way to make chicken marsala, and this is it. A lot of chefs, even Italian ones, screw it up, but not here. Now in Italy, they'd never serve chicken marsala on pasta, maybe alongside it. I can hear the complaining comments already.
That's not how they do it in Italy.
Well, here's a little observation for you. We're not in Italy, we're in America, in a tavern called The Tavern, so get over it. I'm happy to report that the pasta here is perfectly al dente and the sauce works beautifully with it. We had their garlic bread yesterday, and I was glad to see it again on the plate today. It's toasty, garlicky, and the perfect sidekick to this dish. Sorry, Miss Rice, even your villainous monster Lestat would be powerless against me for the next few days. Well anyway, if you're even thinking about ordering the chicken marsala here, do it. I'd absolutely recommend it. Let's briefly talk about the history of Taco Tuesday for a second. Because believe it or not, this tradition didn't start on Instagram. The phrase Taco Tuesday goes back decades. Some say it started in the 1980s when Taco John's, a Wyoming-based chain, trademarked the term and began using it to promote discounted tacos on slow weeknights. But truthfully, the idea of discounted tacos on a Tuesday predates any of that. For many Mexican restaurants across the US, Tuesday just became the perfect day to lure customers in with affordable, craveable food. Alliteration didn't hurt either. Fortunately, our day 2 was a Tuesday, because the tavern has a Taco Tuesday special that's just unreal, and I would have hated to have missed it. You get a pint of Modelo and 3 chicken tacos for only $3. That's right, only $3. That may feel like an error, but it's simply a deal right out of another era. Sure, there are a few rules. You can only order it once. It's dine-in only and no substitutions. But who's complaining? The tacos are made with juicy chicken carnitas, slow-cooked breast meat with just the right amount of seasoning. The salsa is house-made, bright, and vibrant, with a punch of cilantro that brings it all together. These aren't throwaway tacos. These are seriously good. Pair them with that ice-cold Modelo, and you've got one of the best deals in Las Vegas. Don't miss it. Hamburgers just may be one of the most American foods out there, but the roots trace back to 19th century Germany, where minced beef patties known as hamburger steaks were popular. Immigrants brought the idea to the US, and before long, someone got the bright idea to put it between 2 pieces of bread, and the rest is delicious history. This burger is a half pound of lean beef, cooked to perfection in bursting with flavor. It's well seasoned with salt, cracked black pepper, and just a whisper of garlic. Then charred beautifully for that craveable crust. I went fully loaded today. Bacon, avocado, cheese, tomato, and onion. Wouldn't change a thing. The bacon's top quality, thick cut, extra crispy. Creamy avocado balances everything out. And the beef itself is rich and juicy. The fries are just as good. Golden, crisp, and perfectly seasoned. Whether dipped in their homemade ranch or in my own ketchup, they are simply addictive. You can customize your burger however you want, but everything is included for the same price. In other words, anything extra isn't extra. What? This Hawaiian comfort food classic was born in Hilo back in the late 1940s. Legend has it, it started as a cheap filling meal for hungry teenagers. Just a scoop of rice, a hamburger patty, brown gravy, and a fried egg tossed on top. Simple and hearty. No frills. Just the kind of thing you need after surfing all day, or skipping class, or both. Now, I've never been a huge fan of Loco Moco myself. For me, this always comes down to the gravy, and most places blow it. 9 times out of 10, you get that bland, boring, sludge-like material that tastes as though it was poured from a bottle you'd find next to the instant mashed potatoes and powdered soup mix. You know the aisle I'm talking about. I remember being in Hawaii and going to a spot that locals swore made the best Loco Moco on the island. Peeked into the kitchen and saw packaged gravy powder on the counter. My heart sank. But I gave it a shot anyway. Big mistake. Tasted like cafeteria food on a bad day. So when they told me the tavern's version was a hit with the local Las Vegas Hawaiian community who actually come here for it, I was skeptical, to say the least. But you know what? It's good. Really good, in fact. The gravy is homemade, deep, rich, and packed with real umami flavor. This isn't gravy from a pouch. This is gravy with soul. And the egg. That's the part I love. Something almost magical about cracking it open and watching the yolk run down over the beef patty and rice. Turns the whole thing into a creamy, rich bite that ties everything together. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not about to go trade in my usual favorites for Loco Moco anytime soon, but I finally understand the appeal. The potato chips here are made from scratch, and you can get them with anything in place of the French fries. The potatoes are sliced fresh, paper thin on a mandolin, right when you order, and then fried until shatteringly crisp. These aren't your average side item. If you're a potato chip fanatic as I am, I'm not politely suggesting you try them. I'm demanding it. Crunchy peanut butter and tangy strawberry jam. Get dunked in pancake batter, deep fried to a golden crisp, then dusted with powdered sugar. If that's not enough to tempt you, it's also served with a Bailey's infused whipped cream dipping sauce. This is the kind of thing you'd expect to find at a state fair, or maybe in your wildest late-night cravings imagination. And I mean that in the best possible way. This nostalgic twist on the classic sandwich will take you straight back to your childhood. Except now, you're old enough to appreciate the booze and the whipped cream. It's weird, it's a little outrageous, and it's absolutely wonderful. Sweet, slightly savory, gooey in the middle with a crispy outer shell. I loved it. You will too. And yes, I'll be back for another one very soon. This is one of those dishes that appears as an entree, but it's really a dessert in a very thin disguise.
You had me at deep fried.
The Tavern is a veritable flavor factory, dishing out everything from scratch-made corn dogs to one of the best French toasts in town. The prices are unbeatable, the portions are generous, and the vibe is pure laid-back Vegas. This place doesn't need flashy signs or a celebrity chef. What it has is heart. Real food made by people who care, served with a smile in a place that feels like home. From the crispy onion rings, to that rich chicken marsala, to the over-the-top bread pudding, and let's not forget, to the fantastic deep-fried PB&J, I was impressed at every turn, and I've got a pretty high bar. We'll be back to the tavern very soon. Who knows, maybe you'll see us there. And don't forget to say hi to Max and tell him Let's Eat Vegas sent you. This would be a good time to hit the notifications bell so you get a reminder when the next review becomes available. And of course, it's always a good time to like, subscribe, comment, or share. It's free to do so, and it helps us to grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit!